Welcome back to the channel, guys. I'm Jesse with Kinetics High Performance, and in this round of 3-bagger of questions, we'll be talking about avoiding injury, how to start a gym, and how to train for athletics and aesthetics. So let's get into it. First question is from Aton's Flicks. How can I use lifting to avoid injury during sports? Now, this is a great question, but I hate to disappoint. But the unfortunate truth is you can never fully prevent or avoid injury in sports. So if you have somebody telling you they have programs that prevent injury, they're either lying to you or they live in the clouds with rainbows and unicorns. The truth is you cannot control the effects of blunt force trauma or eliminate freak accidents. Sports can be rough on an athlete's body. According to Johns Hopkins Medicine, in any given year, there are roughly 30 million pediatric athletes participating in organized sports. And according to the CDC, in any given year, there are more than 3.5 million injuries that occur which cause some loss of playing time. The most frequent sports injuries are sprains and fractures. And at about 62% of the time, the majority of organized sports injuries occur during practice. Yeah, I know, I'm painting a pretty grim picture, but I'd rather enlighten people with the truth rather than mystify with the lie. Now, before I answer how we can use lifting to help mitigate injury risks, let's talk about why athletes get injured. Probably the biggest reason is many athletes lack soft tissue and bone strength to handle the forces they're exposed to while playing sports. And sadly, many athletes neglect pre-competition preparation, like having good sleep hygiene and recovery practices like staying properly hydrated and getting enough food, particularly protein. Many also lack an effective pre-competition warm-up routine. Overuse injuries are also climbing due to the rise of year-round single sport participation. And finally, the lack of an effective in-season training program is a huge contributor to the deconditioning of muscles, tendons, and joints. So back to the question of how to use lifting to avoid injury during sports. Well, as I talked about, you can't avoid injury, but you can certainly mitigate injury risk through lifting. Here's how. First, you need to put down the junk food and turn off your devices at bedtime. That means eating and sleeping well. I've covered this topic in other videos, so go check them out to learn more. Next, if you're an athlete, hopefully you're on some type of periodized training program which should address muscle hypertrophy, strength development, and power enhancement. What's often neglected, however, is the inclusion of some specific training targeting muscle tendons and ligaments. Your tendons and ligaments will get some work during the plyometric movements that you should be doing during your power enhancement block, but you need to be doing methods like eccentrics, isometrics, and overcoming isometrics. You also need to train at all ranges of motion, and particularly at end ranges to maximize the strength, stiffness, and length of your tendons and ligaments. Eccentrics are simply focusing on moving slow during the negative or the lengthening of the muscle. Think about taking 2 to 4 seconds to reach the bottom of a squat. Isometrics are simply contracting a muscle without moving it. For example, a wall sit is an isometric exercise for your legs, specifically for your quads. And finally, overcoming isometrics. This involves trying to push or pull as hard as you can against an immovable object. For example, grab a barbell, place it under a rack that's bolted to the floor, and try to pull the bar up as hard as you can, from anywhere between 5 to 10 seconds per set. Lifting in season is also very important, especially as your competition level rises. For athletes that are still ascending in their athletic development, it's a huge mistake to stop lifting in season. All muscles, tendons, ligaments, and bones adapt to stress imposed upon them. If you aren't keeping them strong by lifting throughout the season, your strength and power will decrease, causing your performance to suffer, and your tissue will degrade, leaving you susceptible to injury. This is why it's so important to avoid the dreaded yo-yo effect in sports training. During the off-season, athletes will get after it and train hard. But not having an effective in-season program, you will lose all the gains from the off-season. Then, next off-season, rather than continuing your ascent to your physical prime, you'll be busy trying to regain the levels of strength and conditioning from the previous off-season. Now, I know it's beyond the scope of the question, but I can't stress how important it is to have a proper warm-up routine. Unless your coaches are invested in the idea or understand the importance of warm-ups, you're probably on your own or doing some generic and ineffective routine. Warm-ups should be sport-specific. If you want me to give some examples of what you should do, tell me what sport you play in the comments. And since I'm already deep into the weeds of injury, I might as well mention again the continued rise of overuse injuries. Despite the pressures on parents to keep their kids playing a single sport, it's not the best thing for the athletic development or health of the child. And yes, I hear all of you saying, but I need to keep little Jimmy playing year-round to keep up with the other kids. Or I need to keep them in this feeder program because their high school coach is associated with the organization. Or our coach told us little Jimmy needs to develop his skills, so keep playing. But understand this, the data on overuse injuries due to year-round single sport participation is pretty overwhelming. On top of that, research indicates that developing overall athleticism during a child's formative years versus skill development is far more beneficial if the highest levels of competition is the goal. But that's a topic for another video. For now, let's get to the next one. Herrera_SPT wants some advice on how to go from being a trainer to a gym owner. Okay, so I absolutely love this one because I've lived it. All right, Herrera, grab your pen and paper. Here's how. Buy a building or rent a spot, do some TIs, make a floor plan, buy equipment, get an open sign, then flip the switch to on, and voila, you're now open for business. All right, that might be too overly simplified, and it does neglect some important things like writing a business plan, choosing a legal structure, registering your business name, securing licenses and insurance, obtaining any necessary permits, setting up banking solutions, developing a marketing strategy, and executing. But then again, that's all the boring stuff. These three-bagger of questions are supposed to be quick, so let's focus on just a few things. First, formalize a mission and a vision statement. These are typically around 1 to 3 sentences long. A mission statement describes what the intention of your business is. This will include a cause, an action, and a result. For example, we want to foster an environment where people looking to become the best version of themselves can train without having to worry about interrupting an egotistical and narcissistic influencer as they monopolize the gym floor with a portable studio, expecting all other paying customers to stay the F out of their videos. Okay, that may be a bit dramatic, but I hope you get the idea. A vision statement describes the long-term goals of your business. An example would be, we are looking to be the top training facility on the West Coast by providing the best equipment and most cost-effective pricing in the industry. Once you cement your mission and vision statements, adopt a set of core values. It can be as simple as a list of core values or explained in its own statement. This could be something like integrity, innovation, excellence. Your fitness journey starts here. In all seriousness though, I encourage you to spend some time thinking about these things as they are vital to the success of your business. Next, figure out what your time frame is. Self-imposed deadlines are extremely important for entrepreneurs. That's how we get things done. Entrepreneurs who have no deadlines are simply lazy people with no real established job. Sorry, not sorry. Next, establish your target demographic and specifically what type of training they're looking for. It's very easy to say you want to train athletic, general, and special populations, but being too broad at the beginning will lessen your chance to establish a strong brand. Can it be done? Sure. But if I'm an average Joe just wanting to lose weight, I don't want to work out at Athletes R Us. I'd be too intimidated. Or if I'm trying to find a place to train for the NFL Combine, I'll likely pass on the average Joe's gym. You'll also want to spend some time figuring out where you want to plant your flag. Close proximity to the gym is one of the top reasons people choose their gym. Consider that the average distance a person's home is from their gym is only 4 miles. Now, at this point, you should also have a considerable amount of systems in place. Systems are important for scaling a business. They are repeatable procedures and processes that are used consistently within your business. If you want to grow your business, you need to create systems. A really simple one would be unlock the door, turn on the lights, boot up the computers, turn on the televisions, turn on the music, check messages, queue the client programs for the day, and turn on the open sign. Something more complex would be your intake process, from scheduling an introductory session to having a park queue, to how you give them a tour of your facility, to your sales pitch. These are all systems that you should establish so you can easily and seamlessly run your business. Now, to fill your gym, you'll also need to establish a marketing and advertising plan. Marketing refers to the process that allows you to understand who your target audience is and to develop plans to meet their expectations. Internally, putting up pictures of Arnie and other bodybuilders on your walls would satisfy many gym bros just looking to get jacked. Tossing up various team jerseys will make an athlete feel right at home. Externally, it could be the color scheme of your business. Having a fuchsia and mint green color scheme may not attract a hardcore lifter or athlete, but by the same token, using gunmetal gray and blood red may feel a bit intimidating for individuals looking just to lose weight. In contrast, advertising is actively promoting to your target audience. This is basically getting eyeballs on your business and typically involves paid promotional activities like flyers, radio ads, or social media ads. Now, Herrera_SPT. There's a lot more to making the transition to opening your gym, but hopefully this will give you a good starting point. And finally, question number 3, how to train to be an athlete while also training to look good. From Jesse's Man Crush Infinity Symbol, aka the Andy Cosgrove. Now, this one's always funny, but it's always on the minds of athletes. Athletes want to look like bodybuilders, but the reality is, take the most jacked athlete, then ask a competitive bodybuilder or fitness model if they want to look like the athlete. You will be hard-pressed to find one who says yes. A great example is DK Metcalf. The sports world raves about his body. And ask the average Joe, and I bet they would also agree. Do you? Type yes or no in the comments. Now go ask your favorite fitness influencer or bodybuilder. They would certainly respect his physique, but I guarantee you that behind the scenes, they would critique him and say stupid things like, does bro even lift legs? Also, survey after survey indicates that women prefer the lean and athletic look anyways. You know, kind of like what you already have. Regardless, let's tackle this one, shall we? First, we need to define what looks good. I submit that it's the old adage of, it's in the eyes of the beholder. So, whose eyes are you trying to attract? Here's my take. Monstrously jacked physiques attract teenage boys. Moderately jacked physiques attract teenage boys and young men. Now, notice I didn't mention any female demographics. Now, athletic physiques tend to be the sweet spot in the eyes of the female persuasion. And the dad bod? I don't know. Is that still a thing for the ladies? Comment below and let me know. Next, do you have a time frame? Is there a competition that you're getting ready for? A photo shoot? A class or family reunion? A vacation? Or are you just trying to be aesthetically pleasing year-round? And what kind of access to equipment do you have? Partial gym, full gym, no gym? Training for aesthetics is possible with all three, but training for competitive athletics requires equipment to maximize athleticism. Now, if you want to know how to maximize athleticism, check out my Sports Performance Fundamentals playlist. But to summarize quickly, number 1, strength train with progressive overload. You need to train with intent and progressively increase the intensity of your lifts. Number 2, train muscle and tendon for both length or sarcomeres in series and width or sarcomeres in parallel. Training at end ranges and also training with heavy loads to recruit as many high threshold motor units will satisfy both. Number 3, consume enough water and protein. As an athlete, shoot for 0.8 grams of protein per pound of body weight. As for water, just continue drinking throughout the day to make sure your urine is a pale yellow to clear. That's the easiest indicator of hydration level. Number 4, get enough sleep to recover. If you aren't getting 7 to 9 hours of sleep every night, you aren't maximizing your recovery. And number 5, this one's not discussed quite enough. It's proper programming. A good program will achieve the desired adaptations while simultaneously avoiding excessive soft tissue damage and systemic fatigue. And that does it for this round of a 3-bagger of questions. If you want your questions to be featured in the next round, leave your question in the comments section below. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe for more training insights and fitness tips. Thanks again for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.